Hello. Lisa's not here tonight. However, the captain is in. So behave, or you're walking the plank. All right. Hi, lovely people. We're going to do an all signs tonight. Happy Halloween and happy spooky season. I thought it would be fun to dress up because I'm that kind of bitch, and I basically will take any opportunity to dress up for something fun. So, yes, I hope that you are all having the most amazing time. I hope that if you had a chance to dress up and act like a kid a little bit, that you took it, because you will never regret it. 37 years old and still dressing up like a child. We love to see it. Anyways, I hope that you're all doing well. I am going to light the candles here in my little lair that I did not do before we started. Let me know if you can see and hear me. And then we're going to get started into an all signs. And we're doing a somewhat spooky sort of topic. We're doing the spell you naturally cast on others. So we're going to look at like the allure of you, the natural magic and allure that you hold, and the spell that it casts or the influence that you have on others, okay? So I thought that would be a fun topic. We actually voted, and the majority voted on this topic out of a couple different spooky themes, if you will. So yeah, what I'm basically gonna do, I think, is just pull a mixture of oracle cards to kind of capture your essence. And then I'll look at, yeah, what you cast, the magic that you hold, okay? So we're gonna start with Aries as usual, go through to Pisces, and I don't read for any particular placement, so you can feel free to watch wherever, whatever energy of your chart is standing out to you or you feel called to. Feel free to check it out. You can cross-watch for people that you feel like cross-watching for if you would like to. There will be timestamps in the pinned comment and the info box below after the stream is over, but while we are streaming, there will be these little gifs up in the corner here, so you'll be able to see what sign we're on over here, okay? While it's actually going. All right, so give me a second. I will show you my costume. Can you guys see it? Got my piratey corset, my belt, of course, my leather pants, because I wouldn't be Captain Jack Sparrow's right-hand woman if I didn't have some leather pants, I feel. So we're rocking those too. All right, let me light a couple candles here. We're gonna set the mood, have a little vibe. And if you hear the doorbell ring or you hear a knock at the door or yelling of the trick-or-treat variety, you can guess why. All right. I'm not gonna light that big ass one because I just don't want it to drip everywhere, honestly. So we've got some candle action. All right. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, these actually weigh a lot. This jewelry actually is heavy. All right. So let's start with a little cleanse of the energy and grounding in, which I like to do because it just kind of calibrates our energies so that it makes it easier for me to pick up on your energy and to channel you. You can use this time to set a little bit of an intention if you want. That messages that you need will come through. So just set the intention to kind of connect to the energy if you want. Okay. All right. I've got a little bit of Paulo here. Some I'm just kind of gonna get up in your space a tiny bit and get that through above the crown, my crown, and I'll set it up here. All right. Also, you might hear a Rottweiler when children come, if they do come. Kind of live at the end of a road, so I'm not sure how many we will actually get. And it's also freezing because it's Canada. Also, you can't see this belt and it's uncomfortable, so now I'm gonna take it off. Taking it off. All right. That is better. This is a whole ass costume, you guys. I had like a skirt thing too, you know, those like fancy things that they're kind of like Victorian, I guess, that they like poof out over the butt. I have one of those that I was wearing that's like a black mesh. And I have this even. My cards are in. We love dressing up around here. So anyway, we're starting with Aries. All right, we're gonna take a look at why our beautiful Martian friends are so naturally alluring. Let's see. Which deck could I want to use for this? All right. Antonia, you're wearing a pirate costume? That's awesome. See? Okay. We love that pirate life. It's the pirate's life for me. Good night, love. Have fun at your friend's party. Okay. Well, I think we'll just start with my old worn out little rider weight here that I've got we'll clarify maybe with the tarot, and we'll just pull a couple oracle cards to get the general vibe of why you are a whole vibe. Okay. Okay. Let's see. A couple cards here. Let's get into it. This isn't going to me. This is going to be a shorter reading as well. We're just kind of looking at those two things. I thought it would just be kind of fun to have a spooky Halloween hang. Okay. All right, tap me into Aries and tell me about the spell that an Aries naturally puts on people. So this will be a little bit of a boost you, talk you up kind of vibe. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Tell me more about Aries. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's timestamp this. Aries. Hey, Aries. How are you doing, my spicy little loves? I hope you're doing so well. Okay, so let's take a look and see what your natural allure is and what is the spell that it casts on others or the influence that it tends to have on others. So, what do we got here? Let me just look into this energy, see what I see here. Okay, well, there's obviously a lot of passion that you naturally hold. And I think that a lot of people are charmed by the fact that you have almost a magical childlike sense about you, but then you pair that with this very grown kind of, it's like being daddy and baby at the same time a little bit, right? As Aries somewhat is. There's this magical childlike part of you that can see the potential and the beauty in all things and has this belief that anything can be possible. It's almost like a visionary type of energy. You have the ability to envision. It's like you think ahead of others. You can be a trailblazer and you can conceive things that others may not already see. And you're usually also brave enough to proclaim that vision and not really give too much of a crap what other people think, which is awesome. I wonder if I can see the other. What if I go like that? I feel like this, it's almost like people, because you pair that innocent sort of energy with this resilience that you carry, people tend to trust you. Almost instantly is what's coming through here for the Aries that I'm talking to anyways. And this won't be every Aries, right? But this is the message that I'm getting. So it's either your message or it's not. And if it doesn't sound like you, then check your other placements, okay? But it's also something about people not being able to pin you down. Like this card came out that says altering facts. And I feel like that is when people think that they have you figured out, you go and change it up on them. Because you are cardinal fire. Yeah, literally. Because you're cardinal fire, the fire starter. You can't pin an Aries down. You're ultimately led by your heart and by your spirit. And you do have a very resilient spirit. But another thing that is naturally charming about you, Aries, is that you're always down for an adventure. You know, you're one of those people that is a ride or die. If you've got an Aries in your corner, basically you will never have to go on an adventure alone. If you call someone up and you say, hey, I need to lose a body real quick, the Aries is going to be the first person that's going to be like, I'll be right there and ask no questions, guaranteed. And so this is something natural about you that people find very charming. It's like they feel almost immediately as though they can trust you. And that trust is something that is resilient, that will last, that they won't have to question. So you give off that kind of like Bonnie and Clyde, partner in crime vibe very early on. And you also have this fifth house passion energy, which is, the fifth house is connected to Leo, but it's another fire house, or connected to a fire element, that is. You're not afraid also to prioritize your own passion, your own pleasure, and your own joy, and to play, you know? And there's something there's something almost romantic about that. It's like drawing people back into, out of the monotony of life, honestly, is what I'm kind of getting from that. And so the spell that you cast with this energy, you take people on a journey with your passion, with your enthusiasm, with your independence. You're also generally very generous and just happy-go-lucky overall. You have an honesty about you as well that people are really drawn to. Let's clarify a little bit more the spell that Aries casts. Let's clarify with the tarot a bit. Let's see. The Ten of Cups in reverse. The Five of... this is reminding me of that J. Cole song where he's like... this girl make you want to call up your... so he's talking about like cheating on the girl that he's with, but he's like, she make you want to call up your girl and be like, hey, I'm never coming home. It's that good. And then proceed to lay the wood. And that's what I'm getting. That people are like, they meet you and it's almost like homewrecker energy, but just because you're so hot and you have this spell, you're not trying to do this. But people, I feel like, who are taken are like trying not to look at you. I feel like an Aries walks down the street and everybody looks, and then the girlfriend or the boyfriend is like, hey, like, don't, you know? And you just can't help it, can you? It's like a happy family could crumble because of you. But it's nothing that you're doing. It's just you have, again, this beautiful natural charm. And most of the time with Aries, it's honestly so unassuming. And people don't really believe that it is, you know, because it's you have this natural fire, this natural, usually like sexuality that comes out. And it's beautiful because it's passion and it's life force energy. It's not trying to be something it's not. It's not trying to manipulate. It's not trying to play games. And usually it's not even trying to compete, although you don't shy away from a challenge. You kind of just are who you are. And I think that that's ultimately the most attractive thing about you. Well, it's the fact that you are who you are and who you are. Like, you're not afraid to be the person you are, plus the person you are is extremely attractive to people for many reasons, but the ones that I mentioned just being some of them. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to say about Aries? Maybe we'll say, let's see how you can also make this work for you. What is up, LA? Take a stroll on Venice Beach for me. I miss LA, actually. I think I'm going to be there soon, which would be lovely. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for hanging out. All right. Need to go back to LA and hit some taco stands. Let's see. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You usually don't have issues with this. The High Priestess, yeah. So as much as you trust your instincts, Aries, trust your intuition. And the two are a little bit different. How can I differentiate, or how can I put in words the difference? I feel like your instinct is something that you feel sometimes physically, like almost a gut feeling, or it's coming through as it's more of a sensation, whereas your intuition is kind of like your intelligence paired with what you've learned, like the culmination of all the lessons and experiences you've had in this life, plus your higher self, like whispering in your ear. So it's kind of a culmination of all these things. I almost see like your instinct as the human intuition, like the human element intuition, and intuition is like the spiritual intuition. Does that make sense? So the two go together. It's like the human and the spiritual element, and we are obviously both. But even when you don't know the answer, it's like you do, though. Aries hot chick, yes. Are there any other Aries Venuses in the house? That is a spicy placement. It's a spicy placement. That's one that'll keep you on your toes, let me tell you. Any other anything else you want to say about Aries here and the spell that they cast? their natural allure. You have the King and the Knight of Swords both in reverse. There's a vulnerability about you, but I feel like it never really comes through as vulnerability because it's so brave. It's like people look at you and they almost assume that the way that you approach life is just easy. And it's not. You have like some of the biggest balls in the zodiac, if not the biggest balls in the zodiac. And I think that people just watch you live your life authentically, openly, saying what you mean, doing what is aligned, like you walk the talk. And it comes so naturally to you, or you just seem to kind of just flow with your fire. And I think that people can sometimes look and think that that is a lot easier to live your life that way than it is, but there is quite a big degree of like vulnerability to that, and not the kind of vulnerability that makes you weaker. I love this, and I love Aries energy, honestly. Okay, so yeah, these are probably just gonna be like 10-minute readings for each sign. I think I'm gonna kind of, we'll see what Spirit has to say, but we're not doing a 7-hour live again. That's what I'm saying about that. But I'll be back for another one of those before long. Okay, Aries, you little firecrackers, you. But yes, I love that, because it's not just about your passion. It's about how that kind of comes through every part of you. Like it comes through your mind, your intellect. You guys are very intelligent, right? But you have a way of conveying your passion in an intelligent way. So it's like, how can I explain this? Somehow, if people were to look at you and think that you were just hot, or that you were just someone that has a lot of passion or conviction, they would be missing out on a lot about you. There's a lot more under the surface, and there are a million ways that that can translate and manifest through you. And you kind of just have to stick around in Aries long enough to be amazed at the ways that they channel that through. And it really does make them unstoppable in a lot of ways in their lives. And it really does make them a beautiful ally to have, as well as a friend or a partner. So we love you, Aries. We stan you in this house. And we're going to take a look at Taurus now. All right. Taurus. Taurus. Let's see. Let's use this deck for you. Okay. Ouch. Sitting on my toe, and it hurts a little bit. There. The leather pants are killing me. Leathery pirate pants. It's okay though. Won't make you walk the plank. That is reserved for fuckboys and energies of the sort. So if you have nothing to worry about, then you have nothing to worry about. I'm playing, but am I? All right, Taurus. Taurus. Taurus, tell me about the natural beauty, magic, and allure of Taurus and the spell that it casts on others. Spirit, yeah. Taurus's or Taurian's most natural allure. Taurus. Sheila, what's up, babe? Oh, okay. My Rottweiler. Being extra over there on his bed, getting cozy, getting comfy. Maybe I'll bring him in to say hi at some point. Probably near the end, because things tend to be a little bit chaotic when he enters the scene. Mostly just because he's huge and he knocks things over without even trying. Okay. Yes, Taurus, yes. I love this. This is definitely you. Mm-hmm. I love this. Thank you, Antonia. I'm sending it back to you. All right. And how does this influence others? What influence does this have on others? Aww. I love this. Okay. So this is beautiful. Let's just timestamp because I'm going to forget. What's up, Taurus? How are you doing, my beautiful babes? So we're going to just take a quick look, or a relatively quick look compared to my other live streams, at your natural magic allure and the spell that you cast, or how you naturally influence others. So the first thing that's definitely coming through for you is that you are very intuitive. And I think that a lot of people miss this about you, because it tends to come through. First of all, you're usually pretty unassuming about your intuitive gifts. But you do have this stubborn willingness to follow your intuition. And even if other people doubt you, if you know that something is right for you, if you know that an opportunity or a person or whatever is right for you, you're going to pursue it, and nobody is getting in your way. And there's a certain level of charm about that, although people who try to control you or make you smaller than you are would probably say that that's something that drives them crazy about you, because you can't really be. And it's going to, yeah, they're going to go insane before you break. Let's just say that, right? Like, you are not someone who does something the way that somebody else wants you to do things just because they said. And so you're willing to gamble on yourself, which is extremely hot, because you have to have a certain level of confidence and security in yourself to trust yourself that way. So that's one thing. The other thing is you have this very grounded energy about you. I mean, you're a fixed earth. And it's almost like I'm seeing like Snow White when she is in the forest and the birds are like dressing her and all of the animals are helping her clean. It's like you are connected to nature in a way that I've often wondered if Taurians even really understand or feel this, like if they are tapped into this, because I always notice it when I'm around them. And I don't even really know how to fully put it into words. Maybe the tarot can help me with that. But like your intuition and your empathic abilities, they usually come through your body as well, Taurus, and your sense of groundedness. It's because you are so sensitive and grounded in that you pick up on the things around you because you're paying attention. And that's something else that's very attractive. Like, yes, you can't be swayed once you've chosen something, but on the other side of that, you're sensitive, you're caring, you're empathic and loving, and you do take care of the people that you love, right? And you're very observant. So you would be the kind to notice that if someone is lacking something, or you'd notice or pick up if someone needs something. And then you show up and you provide for them in a grounded sort of way, which is really beautiful. You also have this don't dim to fit in. energy. And I think that this is also just about you. You naturally attract attention. You naturally shine. You're naturally beautiful, and you are Venus ruled, right? So you do have this kind of allure about you that is very sensual and feminine, and a lot of people pay attention to you, or you attract a lot of attention for that reason. But the thing is, sometimes it is kind of disguised. What is this disguise about? It's like, even despite how blatantly obvious it is, some people, I feel like, it's like you have it disguised, and then you like unveil yourself. And I think part of this is that you don't feel the need to like do yourself up all the time. Like when you're just chilling at home in your sweatpants, for instance, I feel Taurians still have this attractiveness about them. And it comes from their natural confidence and groundedness, and just, they know who they are most of the time, right? And you're not interested in changing to fit in or doing something another way because somebody told you. As long as you feel good about you and you have the willingness to follow your path and your instincts and intuition, then that is what you do, and you stick to it. And the beautiful thing about this, and how it influences others too, is that people who, I think that it was an MLK quote where he's talking about like, it does no one any good for you to dim your light, or for you to like not shine to the fullest extent. In fact, you are doing your fellow man a huge disservice by doing that, because by shining to your fullest degree, you're showing other people that it's okay to do that. You're essentially like doing it and leading by example, and giving them a level of permission to show up in their full glory. And so people who would have maybe disguised themselves because they didn't feel as comfortable being open and just being themselves, the way that your natural allure or magic influences other people is that it influences them to celebrate their own beauty and sovereign energy, and to not dim to fit in, but to be the fullest extent of who they are, and to follow what they feel too, and not be so easily swayed. So you are like a leader. And the fixed signs, I feel like, all have this natural leadership element to them. But with you, I love that it's unassuming. It can be quiet. It's not in your face. Again, it can sometimes come off as almost like, which is so strange, but it's like you almost miss it. But then you take a second look at you and you're like, you're the most beautiful flower in the garden. How did I almost miss that? You know what I mean? And there's something about that, even where you don't try to, like, I've never met a showy Taurus who's like trying to show off. They just are like, I'm beautiful. You know, usually they know, and it's not even just because of their looks. It's like, you understand that you are beautiful inside and out because of who you are, and that comes from knowing yourself, and again, being accepting of yourself. And that happens primarily through this willingness to follow your own path and what you feel is right for you, even against the odds, against what other people might say, or how other people might try to sway you. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay. Is there anything else you want to let me know about Taurus here? Their spell that they cast on others. The 10 of Cups. Yeah. Your wifey hubby material. I mean, once people do set their eyes on you and really see you, they're like, damn. That's what fantasies are built on, you know, or are made of. And the thing is, too, there's this solidity about you. People see you, they see how sure you are of yourself, and then once you are committed to them, they know that you will consistently show up, and they don't have to question if you're going to change from day to day. Like, my mom is a Taurus, and she is the most consistent, hardworking person, I think, that I've ever met. And although her love can be very practical, like it's not always, she's not always super romantic, like with my stepdad, and she's not always super, like lovey-dovey, but you will never question if she loves you because of the way that she consistently shows up. And if you need something, it's like a lot of the time you don't have to ask because she's already peeped that and you know, done it for you. She's already picked you up medicine from the pharmacy because she noticed that you had a little bit of a dry throat the other day. She's already grabbed you that hoodie when she was shopping at Costco because the weather's getting cold, you know. And it's those little things, I think, that it's loving people that way that truly over time does capture their heart and make you kind of an unforgettable person. So freaking love that. And there's a lot to you as well. There's a lot more to you than most people know. Like, you're more emotionally complex than a lot of people know. But you are also a lot of people's fantasy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this energy. And for many people, you kind of come through as like the fish that cannot be caught, or like the one who got away. But that kind of just adds to the allure. And I really don't think that you even have this, not to say that you're easy, but I also don't think that you come through with this super like hard to get energy a lot of the time. You have high standards is what it is. So you're not playing the hard to get game. You just genuinely are a high value person, you know, that's not going to settle. So it's not a game. And I think that that's also beautiful for people to see, is that like, oh, you're not just playing, you actually celebrate your energy and love who you are, and you won't surrender or sacrifice that or your path of greatness for anybody, which is not selfish. It's actually empowering, like we said before. It doesn't do you any good to not shine as bright as you can, right? When really you're going to trigger people into understanding that they can also shine as bright as they are able to do, by showing them that you're going to do that with a level of like unashamedness, I guess. You're a whole vibe and a bag of chips. Yes. Aries people usually are. Leo, Aries, and Gemini. Damn. All right, Taurus. I love yas. We're going to move on to Geminis and talk about why they, or how they are naturally alluring. Let's see. Ten p.m. in Ohio. Yes, you are a few hours ahead of me. No, we still want that one. I have a lot of decks, and I'm just using a mixture of them, so just bear with me. Okay. Let's take a look at Gemini. So tell me what it is that the spell that Gemini naturally casts, or what makes them naturally alluring and magical. What is the magic that Gemini naturally holds that you want to point out? And obviously, this is also not the end-all be-all, like all of the magic in you. This is just one thing that Spirit wants to highlight. So there are a million other reasons that I will not mention tonight why you're fantastic and beautiful and just wondrous creatures. This is so beautiful. Wow, okay. Your whole thing just wants to come through this one deck, honestly. So I guess we're gonna do that. for you. Okay, so we'll use the other decks to look at how you influence others with this, but the story just kind of kept on going from this one deck, so we'll run with it. Let me timestamp you. Okay. Hi, Gemini. All right, so we're going to look at an element of what your natural magic or allure is and what makes people under a spell for you, or what draws them to you. Why do people fall in love with you, essentially? So the cards that came out, I just pulled a couple cards from this one deck, but then at the bottom of the deck, it was just continuing to tell a story. So essentially here, what I'm seeing is you are a creative powerhouse. And a lot of people look at you and they're like, it's the magician energy, right? It's that mercurial energy. It's like, how does Gemini do what they do? How do they just sort of exist in this high vibrational energy, this childlike energy, this excited just about life and who they are energy? Like, nothing really big needs to be happening for a Gemini to be excited about life, to get really jazzed about life. Geminis are like the original fangirls, I feel like, of the zodiac. And I don't mean that in a pick-me kind of way. I mean that you guys have this beautiful enthusiasm, and you will always be one of the first signs to talk about the things that you're passionate about, to share your like the activities that you like, the people, you know, you are like the cheerleader of the zodiac, really. And it comes so naturally to you to share that love. I mean, you are the lovers, right? So it kind of just spills out over you, and it's very, I mean, it's wholesome, but it's also very attractive to people. Django's snoring over there. You can create out of, also sometimes you might disappear for a little while, like people won't see you for a while. You'll kind of go cold on them or go dark on them, and they won't see you for a while. But it's like there's this sense of like, what is Gemini doing in the darkness? What are they creating? And it you come back on the scene usually, and you're like, oh, I was just blossoming into even a higher expression of pleasure and acceptance of myself, pleasure in the world around me. Again, it doesn't have to be something huge. Like, I'm a Gemini moon, and I sometimes walk down the street and get genuinely like enchanted by like a flower on the street, or like, you know, and it's literally, it doesn't have to be anything big. It's really the way that you perceive life. It's like the lens that you see life through has this natural magic element to it. So you kind of, the way that you frame things, or you perceive things that way, and then the way that you express your perception of life is magical by extension. You're not infusing the magic into life, but you see it. And so I think that it helps other people it draws their attention to it as well, where they would have maybe missed it. You know what I mean? And that's very attractive, because a lot of people in this life have felt like they have lost touch with that. You know, it's like they feel like they grow up and they forget that magic exists in the world, or that good exists in the world. But I feel like with you, it's a constant state of blossoming this pleasure. And then the thing is, once you create this pleasure, it just grows and grows and grows. And it's because you will it to. You have a strong mind. So you plant a seed of pleasure, and then it grows the more that you almost nurture it. This is like, you know, that experiment that they did where they had 3 plants, and one of the plants they didn't talk to at all. They just watered it and gave it what it needed, like the other 2 plants. They treated them all the exact same way, essentially, except for one plant they never spoke to at all. The second plant, they shit talked, like they talked down to it. And the third plant, they spoke uplifting things to it, like positive affirmations and that sort of thing. And the plant that they spoke positive affirmations to flourished. The one that they shit talked died, like quite quickly. And the one that they did not talk to at all lived, but it didn't flourish the way that the one did that they uplifted. And I think that there's a lot to that. You know, the world and the energies and the living things around us, they react to us energetically in ways that I don't think we have even discovered yet. Like, we haven't found the scientific proof, but you can feel the proof of energy affecting energy around you if you're paying attention. And you have a very positive and naturally uplifting energy. And it's not something that always comes to you naturally. It's something that you have to will within you sometimes. Like, I think that sometimes people assume that this is just something that's always on with you, but that's not the case. You're the lovers. I mean, you experience both sides of the coin. You experience bliss and you experience hell, you know, but you never let the hell get you down. You never let the bastards get you down for long, Gemini. And that is just such a beautiful trait to hold on to, honestly. You're a very uplifting force. And you have this self-love and the unexpected as well. So the love that you build, create, nurture, expand within yourself, it creates also like unexpected things. And this was the part that I think people have a hard time pinning down, right? Because for a lot of Geminis, things just sort of, from the outside, if you're watching a Gemini, it's like things just happen for you, you know? And people from the outside are like, how does Gemini always just make these opportunities just happen? It's like they pop out of thin air. And they don't understand that it is your energetic frequency and what you put out that is calling those things back to you in a really powerful kind of way, right? So, yeah. That's what I'm seeing for your natural sort of magic. Can you tell me more about that? The tarot. Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, you will it, and therefore it is. You have a very powerful mind. And when you make up your mind to see something a certain way, the Nine of Wands, exactly. Most of the time, you create the situation or the opportunity that you desire just because you project that perspective of it onto it. So for instance, it's like, I'm not talking about controlling someone else that you're in a situation with, but I'm talking more about like, so they also did a study. I'm giving all the facts and figures to Geminis. This is like such a Gemini reading, but I'm here with the receipts for you, Gemini moon. But they also have done studies on cancer patients, and they found that cancer patients, more of them tend to recover, or their cancer tends to go into remission. The positive cancer patients, the ones that somehow manage to keep like an uplifted perspective, like the power of the mind is just wild, and we haven't even began to really figure out that. But that's what this is kind of saying. It's like, if you can will it, then believe that that will affect things, that does impact things. And I'm not saying that just pure positivity is gonna save everyone's life who has cancer, you know what I mean? But there's a trend, right? There's a trend to it where it's like the energy that you infuse into your life is what overall expands. And the energy that you carry is a very healing and kind of light energy where you're planting seeds of pleasure, and then they are just kind of amplifying and building off of each other. And that's something that a lot of people struggle to do in this world because there's a lot of heaviness in this world, right? So that is something beautiful that people are definitely drawn to in you. So what's the main influence that this has on people? How does this influence people? I kind of already tied that into the first part, but people are more comfortable bravely moving towards their own destiny. It's like they don't find it so hard to believe that these things can just happen as long as they're positive, or as long as they at least point themselves in that direction that they want to go, and they don't immediately assume the worst. Part of it is not just assuming the best or choosing that like toxic positive standpoint where you're just not even admitting that the other side exists or the other possibility exists, that things could go poorly or well, right? Which there is always a possibility of either. But the point is that the chance is just as great that you could win as you could fail, right? The best possible thing could happen just as much of a chance as the worst possible thing could happen. And so it's not that you're saying 100% of the time the best thing is going to happen. It's just the power in keeping your mind open to that positive element and not being a pessimist, where a lot of people kind of, they don't even consider, like they're like, oh, the best possible case scenario is an impossibility, but it's not. And so part of it is you stay open to this unexpected element. And because of that, the blue moon, you stay open to it in an energy of love, celebrating your own self and experiencing life with a degree of pleasure. And this aligns you with your destiny, and it makes other people want to pursue their own as well. You have nurture and embrace here for other ways that this affects or influences other people. Nurture and embrace. See, there's major self-love themes here. But this is also the way you make people feel. There's that quote that says people forget sometimes what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's true, I think. I mean, from my personal experience, that's very true. They might also remember what you did, but a lot of the time, the thing that really sticks in people's minds is how you made them feel. And you tend to make people feel good about themselves. At least healthy Geminis, you literally, it is your energy to uplift and build up. You are the lovers, right? So, but again, it is a choice that you're making, but it's almost not a choice because it's such an obvious choice for you that you constantly make because it is your nature. So while it is a choice, it is also simultaneously your natural magic because it is the choice that you will kind of always make, or most often you will make. It takes quite a bit to pull a Gemini out of that energy of not always expecting the best case scenario, but again, being open to the possibility that the best possible thing could happen also. Yeah, so this helps other people feel brave enough to nurture and embrace their own destiny, their own path. Because it does take a certain level of will to put themselves out there, to put yourself out there. And there's also a learning curve usually when you are aligning with your North Node or your destiny, or when you're in this blossoming energy, right? Blossoming, it's like you're turning into something. So there's that learning curve, and you're also very you're usually not afraid to try different things. You're often not afraid to fail because you usually don't see it as a failure. You see it as a learning experience and a way to become more intelligent, which it is. So it's your perspective mostly, and the way that you see life, and then how you again express that in like a frame that allows other people to kind of see through your eyes, and they glimpse the magic that is you. And it's beautiful. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you, Gemini. I love that. All right, we're gonna move on to Cancer. Cancer. Let's see. These cards out of the way. These ones. All right. Cancer. We have a little coffee shop on this ship here, and it makes the best dirty chais. So this pirate ship. What was the one on what's that movie called? Princess. Why can I not remember? Hold on. Maybe it will come to me. The Princess Bride. It's like the Dread Robinson or something. Pirate ship, Dread Robinson. Or something like that. It's like following them. That's such a good movie. Still. Even though it's old. All right. Tell me about Cancer. The natural allure and magic of Cancer. Yes. More about Cancer. Oh. Aww. Love this. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to timestamp and pull the rest of your cards while I talk because the messages are kind of coming through already. What's up, Cancer? How are my beautiful Krabby Cakes tonight? So, I'm still pulling your cards, but the message that is initially coming through about kind of why you are, or the natural beauty that you hold that tends to hold people spellbound. You hold a lot of light naturally, and people pick up on that. And this is something that is not, it's interesting because it's like, it's natural, but it doesn't seem natural. How can I explain this? I'm going to turn the fireplace on. Hold on one second. It is, it's kind of that idea that like, okay, but no one really, it's not really possible for someone to love that purely, is it? It's not really possible for someone to be that nurturing, is it? It's not really possible for someone to just radiate that energy naturally, is it? And you're like, yes. Yes, it is. I am the queen, and I'm not faking it. And it's like you have this radiant, regal lightness about you, and it really is your heart. And I love how this queen card also says that it radiates the regal feminine and uses your benevolent authority to protect others. That is absolutely Cancerian energy, I feel like. All of the Cancers that I know, they're not arrogant. They're not showy about the love that they have to give, but they're so full of it that it kind of just naturally floods out of them. And I think people are very drawn to that. It's like you wear your heart on your sleeve, and people perceive it first through this kind of lightness about you, is kind of what that's coming through as. But people are also, like, I feel like you would not be the kind of person to watch an injustice take place and then not say anything or not share that information that's going to help people who are struggling, or not show up to protect someone or a group that can't protect themselves. Any authority that you have, you use for good. And again, I'm speaking to when you're in your positive, your more high vibrational self, because you won't, no one is perfect, right? But you understand what I'm saying. So that's very attractive to people as well, because they feel that they can trust you. And I don't know, essentially what I'm seeing is you amplify and embody things, certain things that this world is kind of running a little thin on these days, or they are less easy to come by, or it feels that way, at least, because sometimes it feels like the negative stuff is what is amplified or focused on in this world, right? And it's interesting because you feel things very deeply. You feel the negative things too, and they affect you because you're very sensitive and you're very intuitive. However, you don't let it overpower the light at the end of the day. And you don't let it stop you from trying to make the world a better place. So there's a quote that says, there is some good left in the world and it's worth fighting for. I feel like that's a belief that you hold. Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me more about Cancer here? It's the moon. It's literally your ruler. That's the other thing too, though. You don't give a lot away. It's interesting because there's two very specific elements to Cancer that I've noticed. And my sister is a triple Cancer. She's a Cancer sun, moon, and rising. My dad is a Cancer as well. And the majority of my exes were also Cancer. Well, like 3 of them were. 3 of my pretty serious exes. So I've noticed a trend where it's like, on one hand, you wear your heart and your love very much on your sleeve, and people can pick that up. They can pick up the sensitivity, they can pick up the love that you carry, and it kind of does spill out of you and is this like ushy gushy, soft and mushy type of thing. But on the other hand, you have this element about you that is incredibly mysterious, and people are kind of like, there's a lot of times where you are like, what is a Cancer thinking? What is a Cancer feeling? And it's because here you have this energy of the moon that is your ruler. Sometimes you don't even fully know because your tides are being pulled or you're in flux. And you're just going straight off of like intuitive hits and your sensitivity, right? Because you've learned, I think, to adapt that way. But it's this really interesting kind of mixture of energies where on the one hand, it's very easy to see the kind of person that you are. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that you're just a safe bet. You know, that doesn't mean that it's going to be boring because, oh, now I've got Cancer all figured out, you know? No, absolutely not. So what is the primary way that Cancer's magic influences those around them? What's that? The 7 of Pentacles. Aww. Your investment into other people helps them see their own worth and invest in themselves. Your unconditional love that you share with others allows people to see that they are truly worthy of a love like that. And sometimes I think that you feel as though it's a curse in this life that you love people that can never love you back the way that you love. And I don't think that that's a curse. I think that you have a gift to give. And it is that kind of love. And I think that when love gives back to us, it can give back to us in many ways. Sometimes it comes back to us not directly through the person that we've given it to, but it comes back to us through other streams. And those rivers will always return back to you, you know, like a river flows surely to the sea. That love will always find its way back to you, Cancer, one way or another, because you really do infuse it into the world around you, and that is such a beautiful gift. But yeah, it's showing me that people are more likely to invest in themselves and invest in the world and others around them in a loving way, or a caring way, or a more sensitive way, because of the way that you approach life as well, which is beautiful. That's too many cards. Decay. Wow. That's beautiful. You also show people that it's not, that vulnerability is not weakness, but it is an accomplishment. It is literally an accomplishment to feel things so deeply and to not shut down. Because to many people that seems very unnatural. And I don't think that it is. I think that that's our natural state, but so many people and the world and programming and the conditioning that we go through, it pushes us away from that natural state and tells us like, no, you're not safe if you're vulnerable, or no, it's not safe to be just sensitive and full of love and to offer that part of yourself openly. But I feel like that's a stigma, you know? And it's not true. There is a dualistic nature to all things, and there's the decay, but then there is what comes from the decay. When you have that rich soil, what do you choose to plant in it? Things are always going to fall apart, right? There's always going to be the night just as much as there is the day. There's the moon just as much as there is the sun. And you're definitely aware of these tides that push and pull. You're aware of both sides, but you don't allow yourself to get lost in the dark side of that. And that's really beautiful to people. And I think that it also inspires them to understand that when things do fall apart, there's still this element where they can be soft with themselves and they can almost be understanding of that situation and know that there will be a silver lining, or that they can create something still beautiful out of what has been lost. I think that has something to do with the fact that even when you are grieving, even when you're mourning, even when you are in a more deep or heavy place, Cancer, you never lose that sense of, like, people still feel this naturally radiating from you, even when sometimes you question it in yourself. This is the natural allure and magic that you always carry. So that is truly beautiful. Is there anything else you want to say about that to Cancer here? What's that? The Ace of Pentacles. And Temperance. What about this Ace of Pentacles? Again, it's coming through as like, out of this decay comes a new opportunity. You are, like, Cancer is tied to the mother, right? That creative element. Yeah, here's the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So there's the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles here. It's kind of coming through like, you don't always get what you want, right? But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Even despite the dark, even despite the decay. There's not like an absolute promise that you're always going to get what you want, but there is your ability to emotionally regulate your own experience and to frame things in a softer way, even when things are falling apart, to kind of walk lightly, or to still continue to carry this light and this love even when things get heavy or dark. And that's very inspiring to people. Yeah. You also carry all of this incredibly gracefully. Like, you feel things so deeply, but you manage to carry it with grace in a way that it comes off like you can be kind of unsuspecting. You know, you may have gone through a lot in your life, but people maybe wouldn't be able to guess it because you haven't let it like turn you into a piece of shit, or you haven't let it take your the warmth of your heart away from you, which is obviously beautiful. All right. Cancers, I love you. We're going to move on to Leo. Leo. Here. So this one. Let's see. Where are my brave-hearted beauties at? My Leos. I hope you are doing well. I've got a lot and an overabundance of black eyeliner happening right now. A la Captain Jack Sparrow-esque vibes here. That's what we're going for. Okay. Tell me about Leo and the natural magic and allure that casts a spell. All of the study stories in the Gemini reading. I know, right? I know how to appeal to a Gemini. I am one of you. I know sometimes it's hard for Gemini to like totally take in something and trust that it is true without people being like, you know, this is the facts to back it up, or this is where I got that information. Or else we'll just put it on a list of things that we have to go home and Google and study to make sure, so that if we pass that information along, we know that it is legit. It's not just, yeah, my friend said this. It's like, no, I've got the facts to back it up. Geminis and Aquarians are very good for that. Virgos too. What's going on with Leo? Their natural allure and magic. Oh. Yes, this is totally you. For sure. Okay. Let's start with these ones. Glasses keep falling down. I need to use my insurance to get a new pair of glasses before the year ends. These ones are very scratched. What's up, Leo? I hope you're doing well. Okay, we're going to take a little glance into some of the natural allure that you have, the natural magic, and how that casts a spell on others or influences others, or, you know, makes others fall in love with you, however you want to look at this. So, these leather pants are underneath here. Okay. So the first cards that came out for you, I'm going to pull more here, but I just want to start with these archetypes. You got the dilettante, the athlete, and the exorcist. And this one says, delighting in the arts without having to be a professional. And being aware of the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So I love this because it is, I feel like this is so your creative energy. Leo, shit is your favorite flavor of extra because they can back it up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's kind of what is coming through also. Is like, you can be playful because you know that this is like, you know, when you're strong and you know you're strong, so you can then allow yourself to be vulnerable, right? But it's not because you are being vulnerable in a weak kind of way. It's because you're so strong that you can choose to willingly put yourself in a position of vulnerability where you can crack yourself open a little bit more. And that is actually coming from being strong enough to be confident to do that, right? That is a lot of the time how I view Leo energy, is like, you guys will, you can play and you guys can create and you can throw ideas around without taking things too seriously, right? Because you know you got that magic in you and you have the natural confidence behind you to do that. So you can delight in creativity, you can delight in the arts without taking it super seriously, without being like, well, I love to write, so I have to be a writer. I feel like a lot of Leos that I know, they tend to, you're talented in many different areas, you know? It's like you're good at a lot of different things and you're creative and you get inspired quite easily as well. So you generally like to try things. And for a fixed sign, you know, you like to try, you like to dabble. And I think that's wonderful because then you find out your confidence builds and it's kind of like a snowball going down a hill, getting like bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm right. What's up, Geminis? You have the athlete and the exorcist as well. Now, this is beautiful too, because this is just like, you are the strength card in the major arcana, Leo. And this is that. This is definitely that. You exercise your own demons because you are strong enough and brave enough to actually look at them and take them on. Usually you're brave enough to bite the bullet head on. You're usually not like one to be in a state of delusion where you don't want to believe the truth or you don't want to hear the truth. And so you are, you're just in denial. Because I think that you guys have this understanding. You're so strong-willed that you understand that when you point that in the direction of denial, right, it is truly a waste and a huge like self-sabotage thing. It's quite destructive when you do that. And so you would rather just be courageous and dedicated to transcending any limitations that come up and developing your own strength of spirit and your willpower so that you can just be better. So even if something happens that it's not exactly the way that you would have loved it to go, right? I feel as though you bounce back. You have this bounce back effect, but it's because you're not afraid to bite the bullet. And you're a natural leader as well for this reason and many other reasons. Let's get some more cards for ya. Tell me more about Leo. Yeah. Wow, what a change. You walked away from a 20-year architecture career to face fear, and now you run a funeral home. That is crazy. And how do you like where you are now? See, I find that very inspiring, because to me, that is strong will and strength of character and strength of spirit to say, I can do this one thing. I can even be fixed in my pursuit of one thing. But then when I feel like I've mastered it, or when I feel like that thing is not giving to me the way that I want it to anymore, or just when I'm ready for a change, then I am also brave enough to make that shift. And it's like every moment, every present moment, right, is full of possibility. And possibility is abundant. Leos have this ability to pick up on potential and then amplify that potential to like amp themselves up, to take risks, or to lead in a way that other people would not have the balls to do, or other people would not be courageous enough, you know? Let's get some tarot cards here. And the abundance card is the hunter moon. It's also that you're not afraid to shoot your shot. And again, this is healthy Leos, right? You're aware of your ego. You don't have a false sense of invulnerability or an entitlement. Again, you know that you're strong, but you're not bulletproof, right? And courage and bravery is not feeling fear. It's just deciding that your will is stronger than the fear and that you're going to do the thing anyways. And ultimately, it shows a huge strength of character and strength of spirit, because you're basically saying, I know that I can handle it no matter what happens. And I think that is a lot of what opens you up to abundance, because you take chances that some people wouldn't be willing to take. You wouldn't change it. You're the last responder, and you help give grieving families hope. Wow, that is beautiful. I don't know if I could do that. I think I would, as a Pisces, I think I would soak up too much of the feelings. But that's beautiful. I'm very happy for you that you did that. That's awesome. Okay, tell me more about Leo here. Tell me how this all influences others and pulls others towards them, or casts a spell on others. This deck is going everywhere. How does this influence others? The Empress in reverse. Okay. You trigger other people who are not yet committed to their own abundant nature. And the thing is, and I know, okay, so I have some placements that do this as well. They're not Leo placements. Well, my Lilith is in Leo, so it kind of has a hand in things. But there's this element to you, Leo, where you kind of bite the bullet, because people who are willing to put themselves out there and to take those risks and to stand in a natural state of abundance and power and strength, you're going to trigger people in one of two ways. You're going to trigger them where they respond, because you are just a mirror, right? You are not projecting anything. You are just mirroring and showing people something about themselves. So you're either going to show people that they that are already loving themselves, that they should keep on going, and you're going to inspire them to continue loving themselves and to even, you know, essentially bet on themselves even more, because they are going to be like, look at Leo leading by example and doing that and being brave enough to do that. I could do that too. Or else you're going to trigger people who are in more of an insecure place, or they're not feeling as as empowered or as liberated. But no matter which way you trigger people, it ultimately is for their best good. Because whether you're showing them the abundance in them or the lack of abundance in them, it is still their choice to what they want to do with that, right? And the first step is acknowledging where you're at. So I think that because of your boldness of spirit, you kind of force other people to acknowledge where they're at. And that is a gift, whether they realize it or not, all the time. Some people are triggered by your confidence. It just is what it is, right? Can you give me one more card on how Leo influences others here with this energy? I love this. A jack of all trades and master of none. Virgo, the alchemist, came out. It's like you give people insight which helps them align with their highest self. And some of the time this insight comes through as somewhat subtle, because again, I don't think that you really realize that I don't think that you always realize, or they don't always realize, sorry, that this insight is coming from what you are reflecting back to them, right? Like for instance, if let's say I'm insecure and I'm not living in my fullest state of abundance, and therefore I'm not really pursuing or pulling in the things that are my highest and best. And then I see this Leo just in their fucking Leo glory, and they are doing something that they love, and they are taking a chance, or they've rebuilt their life, or they've shifted their trajectory or something, right? This is giving me insight into my own alignment, and it's incredibly accurate, but I might not be aware that that's coming from you right away. Or I might be critical of you, right? Because again, I'm not in the same place as you. But this is actually a gift that you give to people. It's almost like you are an alchemical catalyst with your fire. People can't really be around it without it being something that is infectious in a way. And if you've ever spent any amount of time around a Leo, then you know that that's true. Like my nephew is a Leo, and he just turned 8 in this summer in July, and he is just like the most infectiously pure-hearted, uplifting person. Like Leo children, there's just something about them, I swear. But I feel like you hold on to this even as you grow older. You hold on to the capacity to embody and radiate that. You are the sun, right? So you naturally radiate it, and people bask in your rays, and they are inspired to, again, to shine brightly. Let's see. Oh, you could do it. A blessing for, thank you. Thank you. I love that, Geminis. S. Smith, off topic. You're trying to figure out the symmetry of the skull and if there was a derm. Oh, here? The symmetry? Where's the reference photo? I'm not sure. This is just it just says figure 2, anterior view of skull. I'm not sure where it came from. I just like it because I'm a scorpionic bitch, and it gives Scorpio vibes. But I'm not totally sure. I'm assuming that that's what you're talking about, the skull, when you say that. But I'm not totally sure. I cannot confirm nor deny that this is biologically accurate. Okay, but that's what I see for you, Leo. You inspiring bitches, you. All right. Keep on living your best lives and infecting everyone else to do the same. All right, we're moving on to Virgo. My Virgos. It's weird being at an hour and a half and almost being halfway done. I'm like, is something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Did I miss something? No. Because not every reading has to be 6 hours long, you know. Let's see. I'm going to use this deck for you. Use these ones for you. Two. Oh, the fireplace is so cozy. You've missed plenty of shots, but tend to take the less riskier shot. That's fair. But I think that sometimes we realize that it's like we're not really, at least I can only speak for myself, but when I've taken like the less risky shot and been like, let me be like a little more cautious, it's like you realize that sometimes you miss out the most through not taking those shots, you know, more than you would if like you lost or you perceived yourself as losing something. It's kind of like, at least, I mean, I'm only 37, which is still relatively young, right? But all things considered. But the older that I get, the more I'm just like, you know, we've got many lives maybe, but only this life once. And so it's like YOLO, like for real. What is the worst that could fucking happen, you know? So you're embarrassed for a hot second, you know? So things don't go the exact way that you wanted them to go. But who knows what else could come out of that, right? You never really know. So, but, oh man. Yeah. I can imagine that wouldn't be a job that everyone could handle. He was a Virgo. Yeah. I find it's interesting because I love supporting people, but I find it very difficult to work with people when they are, or to be really close to people when they're going through a certain level of like grief. And I think it's just because I feel it too deeply that it almost makes it impossible for me to feel like I can even offer something that would help, because it kind of bowls me over. It's like I'm so sensitive to other people's energy that I just want to take it from them, and then I take it in, and then I'm like no good to them, if that makes sense. So I'm like, I must learn how to, or I have kind of learned how to, I should say, support people when they're going through that kind of thing from at least enough of a distance where I can still be helpful. But not everybody is capable of doing that. So to those that do, I salute you. Hey, Matt. All right, Virgo. Virgo. Tell me about Virgo's natural magic and allure. Virgo. Yeah, I hope that this is just like a short little uplifting message for you guys to kind of remind you of one of the beautiful elements about you and how other people notice it. Because it's easy to forget. Or it's easy to be our own blind spot, right? Okay. Let's see. I know that I am my own blind spot like 100% of the time. Okay. Let's see. A lot of cards fell, so let me just try to. Okay. some more. Tell me more. More about Virgo. Why you keep going on the floor? That's I love this, actually. I feel like this is an element of Virgo that sometimes people don't notice or pick up as easily. But I have noticed it and picked it up in my Virgo friends and love it about them. Let me timestamp you. 1. Okay. Hey Virgo. All right, so let's take a look here at one of the reasons that, or one of the ways that you have a natural alluring energy or magic. Wonderful costume. You didn't see it before. I had more on before, which I took off because you cannot see it, but okay. Virgo. So the first cards that came out is Martyr and Liberator. What a combination. So the Martyr is obviously about the transcendent nature of service, either to yourself or to another person or to a cause. And then the Liberator is about freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs and releasing negative thought patterns. So a Virgo in these energies is almost unstoppable. There you are. You can be so incredibly powerful when you get into that place where you know if you can dream it, you can create it. If you can dream it, you can create it. You can build it, you can grow it. And it's because I think you have this understanding because you're mutable earth, which really to me talks about like plants, talks about like the garden. It talks about Earth's natural sort of evolutionary state. You have a way of refining your experiences within you. Like Virgos are usually quite introspective, or they have this introspective element about themselves where it's part of what makes them highly intelligent, honestly, from what I have witnessed. You give yourself to this transcendent nature of service that involves getting up above the situations that you experience, getting up even above how you feel about them, liberating yourself or releasing yourself from whatever beliefs you have surrounding something so that you can actually see the truth of it, or so that you can see the pattern of it and then refine yourself to free yourself. And this is really the evolutionary process. This is growing, you growing. And you have a tendency to achieve really great things, Virgo, or at least you have the potential to. And it's because, number one, you're not scared to put the work in. And you put it into yourself first and foremost, which is very attractive. It's like you're not expecting anyone to do the work for you. You know that that's not possible. And you know that it's like you don't project that onto other people either as their responsibility. Like even if you were a plant, it's not like you're waiting for someone to come around and water you. You give yourself the sustenance that you need. And a lot of it is through these dreams that you have and staying really connected to this higher vibrational thought patterns and beliefs. But you're constantly going through this state of liberating yourself as you evolve, liberating yourself from old things that no longer fit, that once served a purpose and lifting yourself or becoming transcendent above them so you can see. And this is the natural spiral of growth upwards, right? So that's very powerful. What else can you tell me about Virgo here? You're a July Leo. Yeah, his birthday's on the 11th of July. No, his birthday's on the 23rd, sorry. My sister's is on the 11th and she's a Cancer. My nephew's is on the 23rd. And he's a Leo, which I'm pretty sure is just right on the cusp, is it not? Ah, why? Okay, well, there you are. Your cards are not behaving, Virgo. You're not being very refined for me here. I'm just kidding. So you know how to best take care of yourself. Exactly. And you're not, look at this. Here's that transcendent perspective. And here's you perceiving, because you're not afraid to look at it, right? What needs to change or evolve, and then putting in the work to better yourself. And so there's this natural energy of progression. And it's, again, it's because you're putting the work in, right? To get there. So this is attractive to people, very attractive to people. Let's look at how this influences people, though, overall. How does this influence? Well, I think that it helps them believe or understand that they can start over as well in their life, or that they can make changes, that it doesn't have to feel so overwhelming, and it doesn't always have to feel like completely starting over either. Like you can kind of, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can just evolve the way that most things evolve, which is not wiping the slate completely clean and starting from ground zero, right? It's making little tweaks, making those little refinements to grow. And I think that that comes from, again, your ability to look at yourself honestly, but not, like when you're in a healthy space, you're very self-aware and you're very introspective. You're the hermit in the major arcana. You're not afraid to travel into those places with yourself and to take a good hard look at what got you where you are and what will get you to the next place that you want to be. But it's this acceptance of yourself that allows for that. It's your self-love that it's the lantern that you carry to those places. You're not going to those dark places to shit on yourself. If you are healthy, again, you're taking that lantern there to illuminate the dark so that you can have a deeper understanding of yourself and then choose to grow as a result and take the tangible steps to get yourself then from point A to point B. And so you show people that this is possible, and you show people that it's almost like how someone becomes a masterpiece or a work of art is by allowing themselves to be a work in progress. Yeah. That is a beautiful lesson to be showing people or teaching people. A very, like, invaluable lesson, really. How else do these energies naturally cast a spell here? It's like you remind people that that is their natural state, right? Oh, you saw the black letters. Thank you. Let's see. You remind people that this is our natural state. Look at this, the ever unfolding rose. What were we just talking about? You are a work in progress while still being absolutely beautiful as you're being cracked open. You show people that those things that take place too, when things need to shift, even if they're uncomfortable, that is the natural way of things. And it's not happening to punish you, or it's not happening like to you. It's happening for you so that you can grow, so that you can refine yourself, so that you can be better. And you show people this, which is beautiful. I think that you also help them feel like they belong. Can you tell me more about that? Matt, message me if you want to talk, if you're free to talk after I'm done, because I don't have anything else going on. All right. Ever unfolding rose. I love this. You know the irony too? I think that a lot of people see Virgo as being, yes, Virgo as being very put together, but growth is actually messy. Like, mutable, being mutable is messy, and being mutable earth is maybe the messiest, because there are real life consequences and shifts and changes that you immediately see. And those things, like when you start pulling apart the actual physical 3D realm, that creates a mess, right? And that's not bad. Messes are not bad. But it's like you show people again that it's okay to not be put together. It's okay to be a little bit of a mess. It's okay to be a work in progress. And it's almost like how much that truly gives. Because again, it gives you the permission to give yourself space to grow. And so sometimes people, I think that they feel like the refinement process, it has to be harsh. And it has to be, it has to feel like you're losing something, like you're losing a part of yourself, but you're not. When you're refining yourself, you're not losing anything. It's more like you're further integrating that which you've already gained or learned or experienced, and you're integrating it and to open up space. And you're releasing just the small things that no longer serve you. And through the integrating and the releasing process that creates this refinement for you, you give yourself this space to truly unfold, be cracked open, and grow. And so you're giving yourself a gift. So essentially you show other people, your nature, Virgo, shows other people how to gift themselves this freedom to just be. And to be okay with who they are in any given moment, which is very powerful. I love it. Okay, we're moving on to Libra. Libra. All right. Let's see. Text should I use for Libra? Constant struggle of not having enough desk space. Can you guys hear my Rottweiler snoring? He's like hanging off of his bed, just totally out. Luna, I think, is sleeping on my bed in my room. Maybe both of them will make an appearance. Can bring them in. Okay. Libra, Libra. Libra, Libra. What do we want to tell Libra about? I think we want to use this too for Libra. Yes, we do. Okay. Okay. The heck? My laptop sounds like it's overheating. I don't know how to make it not do that so much, because I'm sure you can probably hear the fan. But it is not doing that. Maybe I need to take it in for another cleaning. It probably has a massive amount of Luna hair stuck in the fan again. It was borderline embarrassing the first time I took it to the Apple store to have them clean it out. I was like, well, this is awkward. The amount of hair that they pulled out of there was miraculous. Truly miraculous. All right. I'm gonna use this one. So tell me about Libra and the natural magic and allure that they carry. Tell me about Libra. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that some of the things that are coming up, I feel like they're things that a lot of people miss about you guys, about these particular signs. And so I'm glad Spirit is highlighting things that sometimes don't get, like, aren't as obvious. So hopefully that helps you feel seen if you relate. Tell me more about this allure of Libra. Okay. Where's that pen? Hi, Libra. How are you doing, babes? I hope you're doing well. So, what is coming up about this natural magic and allure that you have? What is up? Gary? Is that how you say your name? Jerry. Scorpio, Moon, Libra, Rising. Aries, Venus, and Sun. Oh, damn. Aries, Venus, and Sun. Boom. Oh, no. Wait. Scorpio. No. Yeah. Aries, Venus, and Sun. I read that right. Okay. It's okay, guys. I'll figure it out eventually. So, Libra, what is coming out for you? The first thing that they're saying is that, now this thing isn't as, this is something that a lot of people probably find attractive about you. It's that sometimes they wonder what you're thinking. But it's not because you don't know what you're thinking or how you feel. It's because you keep your true perception or perspective to yourself sometimes. And I think you do this as a means of being more diplomatic, right? Like sometimes you don't want to say what your personal feelings or beliefs are on something because you would rather wait to hear how everybody else feels, or you would rather wait to contemplate that internally a little bit more and like see if your scales are truly balanced. Something like that. But the way that people see this is that they can't crack your thoughts, or they feel like they can't always crack what it is that you're thinking. Your perception is a mystery to them in some sort of way. And this makes them obviously more drawn to you, or that makes them want to get to know you more. It's like, what is Libra really thinking? What are their ideas on these topics? How do they really feel about that? I think that also sometimes when you do share your perspective, it throws people off because it's not what they were expecting. And I think most often it's that you are actually more intelligent than they give you credit for, and more intuitive than they give you credit for. because they don't realize that you are not like this flimsy thing that is constantly back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You are the whole scale, you know? It's not like you're just swinging from side to side. Like, you are also the solid middle piece that holds the scales in place. And that is what ultimately like allows for the balance to be created, is that strong, like straight, stable structure in the middle. You have a very intelligent mind and you have a very intuitive spirit, but you don't get enough credit for that, I feel like. But yeah, people not knowing how you feel and think about things, it causes like a conflict inside of them that almost drives them wild. It keeps them guessing and it keeps them wanting more. The other thing that is here is that you have an ability to, like, once you've decided that you are going to go for something, or specifically that you're either going to take a leap into something new or that you're going to release something that has run its course, once you truly make the choice to do that, you are quite brave and like willful in the way that you make moves and make shit happen. It's kind of like you might take a while to be really sure that that's something that you want to do, but once you've decided, you make those moves with this sort of confidence that surprises people. It's just like nothing, boom, everything, or boom, taking over the world all of a sudden, you know, boom, picking a path. And the thing is too, by the time you do that, it's because you're ready to do that, because you've aligned your head, your heart, your spirit, and usually already like paved or ensured that that first step will most likely be successful, because you are intelligent. And so then those moves that you make that seem like they're coming out of nowhere to people, or they seem shocking to people, or even like unlike you take them with grace, like a level of grace that also throws people off, because to them it seems like you're just taking this leap that's either out of character for you or that is coming out of nowhere. But meanwhile, for you, you've been weighing things out and you've been coming to the final conclusion about these things. And so it's really not. It's not erratic. It's not something you've been back and forth on. You've just been finding that sweet spot balance so that you can take a leap with confidence. And it's like you curate this confidence in yourself, and then you are able to take a leap and have faith in the universe as well. But it's almost like that comes to you as you understand that you are an extension of the universe. So if you can trust yourself, then you can also trust the universe to back you up. But yeah, the way that you make moves and you make them with grace and style is very attractive to people. Also, the way that you choose to release so this card says releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives unbound. It's the justice energy of you, right? That's highly attractive. Like your ability to see truly what is fair and what is right or just, and then take action on that. For yourself first, people are attracted to that, but then in the greater scheme of things as well. How do these energies that Libra naturally carries influence others or draw others in? I just hit my hat on the nourishment. This is a card number 7, and that is like your house, the 7th house, and it talks all about the self and the other. How can I nourish you? And how can I trust and understand that when I nourish you, I'm not actually losing anything, because you are me and I am you. So therefore, when I care for you, when I nourish you, when I give to you, I can trust that I am also nourishing, caring for, and giving to myself by extension, because what goes around comes back around Everything is everything. We're all connected. And this is an understanding that you have. And it's part of what drives you to do the right thing sometimes, I think, when it takes a lot of courage to do the right thing or to stand up. It's because you have this ability, Libra, to see yourself in other people, or to be like, that could just as easily be me that's going through that situation, you know? So I'm going to stand up for that person. Or those could be my circumstances. So I'm going to help because I can, you know? You have this greater perspective where you can zoom out and you can see things like that, where most people sometimes, you know, don't even take that into consideration, right? It's like, unless it's happening to me, it's your circus, your monkeys. But the world doesn't heal and get better with that mindset. Trying to separate ourselves off from the chaos of other people. And I'm not saying that we should take it on and let it like bowl us over and infiltrate us. But no man is an island, you know? We are all connected. We are all one. And when you nourish the individuals, you nourish the whole. So that's something that you innately understand, and you make people feel nourished. What was that? The heck? You tell me more about this. The Emperor in reverse. You also bring this feminine energy, right? It's interesting because you're very held together and graceful. Again, like you keep yourself very what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, you're very well put together, you know, you're very graceful. And it's almost like your whole self comes off as being kind of like curated. But then you also have this way of softening into yourself and into others, or letting people see you, or reflecting an intimate part back at other people in such a way that it has this softening effect. And it is, you are ruled by Venus, you have that feminine energy. But I think sometimes because you're also an air sign, which is a masculine element, right? It can throw people off when you come in with that softer energy, and it almost is very disarming. It's like the nourishment disarms the masculine energy, or the more assertive or aggressive energy in other people when it serves it to do so, is what I'm seeing from that. The Seven of Swords in reverse and the Six of Cups. Yeah. Because you tend to share your perspectives, I feel like you tend to be kind of like, you think and ponder a lot of things internally, don't get me wrong, but because you are so relational, I feel like you share a lot of the knowledge that you have, or a lot of the insights that you have, and you really help shed light on experiences that people have had. Like, you help shed light on ways that they may be looking at their own past through the lens of an illusion, ways that they might be seeing the past either as having been way worse than it was, or not seeing any silver lining, maybe is a better way to say that. And again, it's because you're able to weigh things out so masterfully and have this kind of diplomatic view, especially when you're talking to other people. When it's not personal, you can be highly objective, but still very compassionate and soft with that Venusian energy. And that is really beneficial to people, you know? So that's something else that I see for you, Libra, in the ways that you positively affect or influence those around you. All right. We're moving on to Scorp. Scorp. Let's see. Dog. Okay. This one. And this one. What do you concur with? I've said a lot of things. Where are my sexy little stingers at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Let's see. All right. Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio and the natural magic that they carry. Yes. Libra, Venusian. All right, tell me about Scorpio. You're like, I do what I do, and I'm the only one who can do it. And nobody does it like me. So I'm hearing that I'm hearing Missy Elliott. I think that's Gossip Folks, where she's like, motherfucker, you ain't got it like me. Yeah. Scorp, you know you got a little something something. Got a little something something. And that is kind of an obvious one for Scorpio. I feel like everybody who knows a Scorpio is like, oh yeah, they've got something. You know, there's something. There is that like mysterious element about you that is like, I can't quite put my finger on what it is that's so sexy about Scorpio. And it's because of the depth, right? It's because it's not just one thing. It's because there's so many things that are in there. Let's just get a couple more cards before I timestamp you and start. Tell me more about Scorpio's natural magic and allure. Scorpio. Yeah. Okay. Let me timestamp this. I love this though. 209. Hi, Scorp. Happy birthday and happy Halloween. So, what I'm seeing here for you, first we're going to take a look kind of at, I'm sticking and looking, just mad it ain't yours. Let's see. First, we're going to look at kind of your natural magic and allure, and then we'll look at how that influences others or the spell that it casts, so to speak. The first card that came out was literally the Scorpio card. Yes. So you have this intensity. However, the way that your soul expresses the loyalty, the bravery, the passion, the depth the sensuality and the ambition and transformative nature that you naturally hold is almost poetic, because you have the poet here. You have the poet and the prostitute. I'm gonna this combination for you. What the hell is that keeps cracking over there? So the way that you express these things, you express these soul insights in almost a symbolic language. And it's usually, I feel like, symbolic in the action that you take, not just the words that you speak, because you're very loyal. So once you are committed to something, you are committed to expressing that insight. And the prostitute says that you survive without negotiating the power of your spirit. So it's like you find a way to not compromise the things that shouldn't be compromised, essentially. All of these beautiful things that you are. You're loyal to yourself, like who you are in your very core, first and foremost, I feel like, and people find that incredibly attractive. It's not very often that you'll find a Scorpio compromising on like their spirit or their soul or the things that they feel very convicted about. Let's see. Can you tell me more about that? You also have a way of putting yourself out there, putting this passionate sensuality and this deep transformative expression of yourself and your soul. You have a way of putting it out there in a very, a way that seems like super vulnerable to most people, because you go deeper than most people. You willingly go deeper than most people. And when you express from those really deep, passionate places, without negotiating the fullness of what is coming from those spaces, that's incredibly attractive to people, because they see in themselves, through themselves and their maybe inability or lack of willingness to go there, they realize how brave you truly are and how much effort it takes to do that. Like, I feel like you don't make it look easy. And I'm not saying that in like a, that's not bashing you in any way. It's not saying that you make it look like a terrible struggle, but it's like people very much understand that the places you go and the things that you do are not, it does seem almost otherworldly or unnatural because of the fear associated with that level of vulnerability. And when people try to put themselves in your shoes, this is almost coming through as they like immediately, they come up against this internal resistance and fear a lot of the time. And so then they realize almost through like comparison, and I don't know if that's always conscious or not, they kind of realize that in some ways you are kind of the only one who can really do what you do the way that you do it anyways. And that is, by that I just mean like live life the way that you do, with this level of depth and passion and loyalty, being all in, fixed water, right? So then these cards came out. So Connect came out. And this kind of is an obvious one, I think, is like Scorpio and intimacy, right? People, I think they don't realize how much they're actually craving that deeper connection, or how much that is kind of lacking in the world today. How superficial a lot of things have gotten, a lot of interactions and engagements, even our interactions and engagements with ourselves. It's easy to get stuck in this kind of more superficial place just so that you can like skim by and life doesn't feel so intense, right? But you don't shy away from that. And you show other people the power of this deep connection. There's also a level of, you show people that when you go deep enough, you realize that everything truly does connect, or everything is connected. From the surface, things look like they are separate, right? But once you dive under the surface, or you go to that deepest spot, it's almost like you realize that everything is just a part of the whole. Yeah. You realize that, or you help other people realize that they are a vital piece of the whole. And that without them offering what they have to offer, things could not function. You are kind of the one in the zodiac that sends out this energetic dare to everybody else. Like, I dare you to live life from this place of deep soul insight and intimate expression. I dare you to connect on a deeper level with yourself, with the world around you, and with one another. And you show people how being in this brave, sovereign energy is the key to truly being these masters of transformation. You show people how and where they may not be liberated or free, and how that freedom can't take place without a touch of magic, or believing that you are powerful enough to pull yourself out of that, and that the magic can't take place without leaping out into the unknown, because that's where the magic is found, and that's where the transformation happens. So again, it's like this dare, right? It's a dare to exit the womb and make shit happen, because you are powerful enough to do that. But the only way is by putting yourself out there. And Scorpios have to dare themselves to do this on a daily basis, just as much as they're sending out that dare to other people, right? It's not easy. Again, it's not natural and easy, I don't think, for any human to go about doing that. And so that's what I mean when I say, like, you don't make it look easy, or you don't have this, like, you're real, right? You're real. So it's not like you're telling people, oh yeah, go and do this deep transformation, don't worry, it'll be a walk in the park. It's like, no, I'm gonna be honest about you, that parts of it are gonna hurt, parts of it are gonna suck, parts of it are going to not suck, but there's gonna be dark parts, you know? But the outcome will be beautiful. And it's worth doing that and becoming that version of yourself, or transforming, even if you're just transforming into a more sovereign version of yourself, where you're more empowered over your own energy. Because again, you have something invaluable to offer the whole, with which you are a part of, or of which you are a part of. Django. Change. You just got the thunder moon. Change. So this is how thank you. Django, hey. No. You cannot go up there. There are children at the door getting candy, and he's like, I'm suddenly wide awake and want to be up there. That's why you're in the basement with me, my friend. But this change card is what came out for how your energy influences others. And yeah, you come in like a freaking wrecking ball. You come in like this thunder moon, and you shake the shackles kind of off. You create this transformative change almost just by extension. He's at the door with his nose at the bottom, just like huffing. Django, hey. Leave it. it's like you initiate or you instigate. You can't go up there, buddy. No whining. You trigger people. That's basically what it is. You trigger people, and you trigger them on a deep subconscious or in an intuitive space, which they can neither understand how you got in there to trigger that truth, but they also can't deny it because it is in them, right? It's not like you're just telling them something, trying to convince them. It's more like your energy triggers people, and it has this transformative effect. It's Pluto triggering from the dark spaces, the dark reaches of the universe, right? But yet still it somehow reaches and causes these shifts in our lives. So one of the biggest ways that you impact people or influence them with your natural energy in a positive way is by showing them or making them believe within themselves that this kind of abundance is possible. That if transformation on a grand scale is possible, if connection on a deep level is possible, and if sovereignty over your own energy is possible, then intuitively that means the sky is the fucking limit. You just have to be brave enough and willful enough to fucking go for it. Hey, James. No. There's people at the door that are coming now, and he's like, we're gonna whine about it. I want to go up there and see the kids and probably rip their costumes off and play with them like they're a toy and just cause havoc, steal their candy bags. You're not doing that. You crazy bugger. All right. That was your reading, Scorpio. I love you so much. We're going to move on to Sag. We're moving on. I want him to stop. I might let him, I was going to let him in here, but he'll probably be a crazy force of chaos in here as well. But I guess it's better than him standing there whining. Let me see. Poor guy, he just wants to go upstairs so bad and see what the fuss is about. Rottweilers are like herding dogs, and so they like always having like eyes on their people and like what is going on. Hey. I know you hear me because your little tiny tail just wags a little bit every time I say something to you. I know you're listening. Hold on one second, you guys. I'll be right back. I need to... Hey, what's up? I know, you're stressing. Can you not stress so much? Because you're stressing me out. You come in here. Come here. Hi. Here's Jenko. Oh, see, he's knocking things over. Hi. Yes, cutie. Okay, you licked my water bottle. Well, he came in, almost knocked the ring light over, licked the top of my water bottle. I know. It's good times. Oh, man. Anyways, that was Big Head that you just witnessed. Sagittarius. Saggy. I know you want to go up there, but you can't. I have strict orders to not let you up there. Because you're going to be a problem. You're going to be problematic up there. Why can't my love be enough? I'm not even paying attention to him, that's why. It's like, put me where the action and the attention is, please. All right. What do I want to use for Libra? No, for Sag. All right. Sagittarius. You're a good boy. Yeah. You're a good boy. Just sitting, staring at the door. Sneaky boy. You're good. It's okay. Oh, he laid down. He just laid down right on the other side of the door, just staring at it. This is as close as I can get. Okay. Too many. Sag. This is so you. Okay. Let's see. Tell me more. Yes, 100%. All right. I'm hearing that. Okay, let me just timestamp and then I'll get into these messages. 2, 6. Hi, Sag. All right, so your natural magic or allure, just the part that Spirit really wants to highlight for you, and then we're going to look at how this kind of influences other people, or the spell that it casts on them, so to speak, how it influences them in a positive way or draws them towards you. So this is just the most you combination, I feel like. It's the Goddess and the Don Juan card. So it's like this very attractive feminine energy that is highly abundant and expansive, wise, full of life force energy and just natural sensuality, which I feel like is very much you. And then literally the Don Juan, which is just being seductive. So the fact that these two came out together is telling me that, yeah, it's your natural way of existing and the natural life force expressed through you that people just find incredibly seductive. And part of it too is because you always leave them wanting more a little bit. Like, who can fully experience a goddess, you know? The divine is so multifaceted that no matter which part of them you are interacting or engaging with on any given day, the next time you see them, you could experience a whole nother part of them that is just as magical, just as wise, just as attractive, but maybe in a completely different way, right? So that's the first thing, that your energy is naturally alluring here, because you draw attention to yourself, and you also have this energy about yourself where you are confident, you're positive, and you have these seductive qualities that I feel like you are so generally you're very much a truth speaker as well. So it's like you don't use these positive seductive qualities or this attraction quality that you have about you to manipulate people, and you don't use it for like your own agenda. You don't exploit your nature, your form. You're generally quite honest with people about when you're not interested, you know, and you're like, oh, sorry, I made you fall in love with me, you know. What's that song by Tate McRae? She's like, oh, I'm sorry that you love me. Change my mind up like it's origami. Sorry that you love me. Sorry that you love me. You know, it's like, what can you do? I'm just a goddess over here. You know, it's like, I love it though, because you're not faking. That is genuinely just how you are. And you're like, oops, made you fall in love with me. My bad. Sorry, not sorry. Like, Sagittarius. Okay. What else do we got here? Tell me more about this. Oh, here you are. Mercury and Sagittarius, the 8 of Wands. there's something else too, where you're not just a pretty face to look at. Like, the more that people dive into you as well, right? With this Mercury and Sag, that's kind of like a say anything energy. It's like, I'm just going to let it fly. I maybe don't even have that much of a filter, but it's kind of like with Mercury and Aquarius, or not Mercury and Aquarius, Mercury and Sag. You almost don't need one because you have that innate wisdom to share. And this is telling me that you're sharing from a place of justice and balance. And you're also sharing with this Page of Swords from a place of knowledge, like you've studied, or you have the experience to back up what you're about to say, or you just know that it is right. So maybe you're standing up for people, but you end up being more than people bargained for. Because sometimes I think that the initial way that people see you is like you are just this attractive, fun, seductive kind of energy that has this natural like drawing in quality or attractive quality about you. But you're also so much more than that. And once people get past just the scraping the surface, they find that there is so much more to you, and that you're, one of those things is that you're highly intelligent. And it's not just intelligence, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. Wisdom and the willingness to express yourself from a true and authentic place, no matter where you're at. Because you're always shifting. You are mutable fire. So your spirit is constantly evolving like a wildfire, right? But you feed it. It's like you fan those flames. And you're not afraid to grow. You're not afraid to expand into more than you've been, even when that involves going into the unknown. So then these cards also came out: semi-sextile, allowing, and Mercury, communication. The way that you express yourself, the way that you communicate through your energy, and the way that you just live and engage with life, right, is, it's like it opens up your experience. There's a quote, I think it's by F. Scott Fitzgerald, where he says, the world is as big or as small as you make it, you know? And I feel like this is true 110%. And I feel like you are aware of this truth, and you choose to communicate to the universe, show me how good it can get. Blow the lid off this place. You know, take that glass ceiling and throw it in the garbage. I am open. I am literally encouraging and allowing potential. I'm allowing the opportunity for compensation. I'm allowing rewards to come to me. I'm opening myself up for growth. It's like you are open. And you communicate this. You also communicate from an open place, like open-minded as well, with that kind of like potential and possibility always in mind, which is very attractive to people because it's very accepting. It's an accepting quality that you have. You're not a very judgmental sign most of the time. Again, when you're in like your higher vibration or positive element. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about how this, or the influence that this has on other people. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? What is your spirit asking you to be open to? What wants to come in because it is your karma, or it is what you deserve, or it's what you're here to experience? But you just need that little push from someone else that is open-minded, or someone else that is open to exploring or having these experiences, or someone who views life as an adventure and doesn't always take it so seriously, right? You are that push or that inspiration to a lot of people in this way, I feel like, that opens them up to actually stepping into their greatness, or allowing their greatness to flood in, because they maybe they don't get in their way so much anymore, as they see the way that you can kind of get out of your own way and allow for this really deep expansion to happen. Anything else that you want to say to Sag? I love this. Very straightforward, very you. Yeah. Sag. You're not afraid to do things non-traditionally as well, and you're not afraid to tear down old structures, even structures that have served your soul thus far. Again, it's this openness, this allowance for change. You're mutable, right? You liberate your own spirit and allow yourself the opportunity for greatness, you know? And I think you have this ability to show other people, just through your boldness of spirit, how we all tend to hold ourselves back or make ourselves small in some sort of way. And a lot of this has to do with programming or conditioning or what is traditional or taught to us. And you are not afraid to break out of that kind of thing, to look for a better way. You are the seeker. And you're constantly looking for a more expanded perspective that is giving you even more insight, even more liberation, even more inspiration. And so you kind of, by doing that and living that way, living out loud, you show other people how to do that as well, or you inspire them to do it as well. And I feel like you make it look fun, you know, even though it is kind of terrifying. You can make it look fun, or you can convince other people that, like, it doesn't have to be this big, scary, intimidating thing to put themselves out there to experience something new. All right, we're moving on to Cap. Cappy. Capricorn. Capricorn. Where you at? Okay. I'm gonna use this one actually for you. Let's see. Capricorn. I'll try this one first. Tell me about Capricorn's natural magic and allure. I'm gonna take him out for a WALK when I'm done, because he is just high strung right now. This is one high strung Rottweiler. And I think it's like, he's just like, I just want to play, I just want to play, I just want to play. I hear kids, I want to play. I hear the door open, I want to go outside and run. Why are you locking me in the basement? All right. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention this, but if any Sages are still listening, I was channeling that song, I don't give a damn about my reputation, that Bad Reputation song by Joan Jett. I feel that's something else that is true about you, and it is attractive as well. It's like you genuinely don't care. And when you don't care what other people think, I mean, you don't always not care, but the majority of the time you care what you think of yourself a lot more, which is far more healthy anyway. There's nothing that is like, and this is like reverse psychology, right? It's like, yeah, I don't care. And then people are like, wait, you don't care? And all of a sudden they want you to care more, and you have them falling at your feet. You have people chasing you that you literally don't even want to chase you. And you're like, I wish I could get rid of these motherfuckers. I love you. My word. Okay, Capricorn. I don't give a damn about reputation. I don't wanna do my vision. Gonna do what I wanna do. All right, Capricorn. Tell me more. Huh. No. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Capricorn. I hope you're doing well. So let's take a look at this natural magic or allure that you have and the influence that it has on others. Joan Jett lives down the block from you? That's pretty badass. Tell her I said hey and I sang her song in my live tonight. Words to live by though, for reals. All right, Capricorn. Go back a little if you want to hear me singing. I don't give a damn about my reputation. So the first cards that came out for you are courage and choice here. And then reincarnation. So courage, choice, and reincarnation. So this is part of your natural magic and allure. This is coming through as life really can be what you want it to be, and at any given moment you can choose to create something completely different than what it has been in the past. You just have to be courageous enough to make the choice to shift your trajectory. You can literally rebuild your entire life from the ashes. You just have to essentially bite the bullet and make that difficult choice to do so is kind of what's coming through here. And a lot of people look at you and they know that this is possible because of most of you, right? You're ruled by Saturn. Oh, you coming back? You coming back to say hi again? Lord help us. My Rottweiler. You wanna come say hi? Come here. Hi. Hi. This is Django. This is Django. Hi, buddy. Hi. Yes, I know. I love you so much. Yes. Hi. Your big head. Okay, yeah. What are you trying to do? You just want a neck rub? Yeah. Give me a second. I'm sorry. He's a needy baby right now. It's just... Hi. It's okay. You want to lay down and stay? You want to stay? Yeah, you stay and hang out. Yes, I love you so much, too. You're such a good boy. Yeah, you gonna sit right there? Okay. Thanks for sliming all over that deck. He's like, I'll be right here. Just literally right there. Not going anywhere. I want to be breathing the air that you breathe. Okay. He's such a mush. Hi. He's just staring at me, wagging his little tail. He's just so happy to be included. Hi. Yes, I love you so much. Oh, is that the spot? You need the spot? I'm probably going to re-timestamp Capricorn and start over in a second. He just needs a little... he needs a little loving. Hi, baby. Yeah, you want to hang out? You can sit here and hang out with me. Yes, you can. Hi. Big baby. Hi. Love you. Yeah. All right. You can chill. You just chill here, buddy. Just move that over here so that you don't decide to chew on it. Good boy. All right. Let me just see here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to timestamp this. Okay. 2:46:40. All right. Hi, Capricorn. Hi again. Like 4 minutes back, I originally timestamped, but then my Rottweiler needed some love, and he came in and kind of licked the tarot decks and put his head on. Yeah, anyways, just go back a couple minutes if you want to see what happened with him, with Django. But we're re-timestamping and getting into this again for you. So after that little interlude, okay, so the first cards that came out were Courage and Choice, which I already kind of talked about a little bit with this reincarnation. And I was just saying how a lot of people, they see how much courage it takes to make choices to really like change the trajectory of your life for the better, or to bring yourself back once you've been resorted to ash, once you've had to learn a hard lesson or learn a lesson the hard way, right? You're ruled by Saturn, and so these things tend to happen to you in your life. But I think that the thing that most people take away from observing you is your resilience. The resilience that you carry and the courage that you carry to make the choice to constantly recreate yourself after whatever happens, you know, after anything happens. And I feel like this is something that you've been doing since childhood for many of you. For many of you, you go through kind of difficult things, or your Saturnian cycles or lessons start very young, and it's because they often last like a while, right? It takes you a while to learn a Saturnian lesson. I know. It takes you a while to learn a Saturnian lesson. It is like a phase or a cycle in your life usually that has to kind of play out. Can you tell me more about this? He's so cute. Big baby. The big baby. What's this? It is the Hermit, okay. And we also have the Four of Wands. Yes. You have this internal, it's like people look at you and they're like, how does Capricorn do it? Or how did Capricorn do it? How did they get to the top of that mountain? You know, how did they get to be the goat? No one is born the goat. That's the thing. That's kind of the secret that you carry, right? Like you're born the goat, but you're born the goat at the bottom of the mountain. And you spend your life climbing to the top. And it's through nothing short of blood, sweat, and tears, right? But bless you, sometimes you just make it look so damn easy. that people can downplay, but I think most people look at you and they notice the strength, that even if you do make it look easy, they recognize that just through the sheer amount that you have accomplished, or how much you maybe have had to build back from in your life, that you are incredibly strong. Like when they put themselves in your shoes, they realize how much it actually takes to be you and to do the things that you do, or that they witness you doing. And with this courage to make the choice to do the things that are best for you, to do the right thing even when the hardest thing and the right thing are the same, right? That is Saturn. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same, but you do it, and there is always a payoff, whether it's right away or not. That sometimes fluctuates, but you have this natural allure where you draw people to you because they wonder, like I said, how you do it and how you seemingly have just always done it. Tell me more about how, back to whining at the door. Tell me more about how this influences others. How Capricorn's natural energy influences others in a positive way. Tell me more about that. Let's see. Hey, it's okay. You lay down. I'm almost done. Lay down. It's okay. There we go. He's back on his bed. All right. Teacher. Yeah, exactly. You are the teacher. And the thing is, people, I think, are also, what you have to sacrifice to be who you are and how you are, Capricorn, I feel like is not lost on many people who observe you, because how could it be, right? It's like, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're going to be the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, you know, that doesn't just happen. Like I said before, getting to the top of the mountain doesn't just happen. Gaining the experience and the ability then to communicate what you've learned, how you learned it, the skills that you've gained, and the wisdom that has come from that whole process. This is not something that just, you know, again, it doesn't just happen, but you have this, and it's because you pay attention to the journey as you're walking it, as well as you're living it. You have this gossip card, which came up in the upright. So it's the light attributes, and it says awakens consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. So I feel like, again, you learn these lessons, and genuinely you have a hope that other people won't have to go through the same struggles or do things the same way as you did. And as much as you are ruled by Saturn, and as much as Saturn is about structure, limitation and restrictions and the things that need to be in place to kind of like hold shit down, I think that you also, it's like this, right? It's like you are the architect of that structure, so you know how to disassemble it and make it something better as well, because you put it together. You're like, I put you together, I can take you apart, you know? And that's powerful. It's like you see the inner workings of some of these structures and limitations and restrictions, and even like the conditioning and things that happen in our world, some of the heavier things that we are subject to as humans. And I think you, because you experience them so intimately, you have this understanding of their inner workings, and you know how to make choices to make things better. You also have the courage and the experience to make those choices as well, to not just know what the choice is that would need to be made to disassemble or take something apart and put it back together in a form that is functioning better than before. In other words, to leave something better than you found it. And that is a huge gift. And so people are drawn to that, because you don't just Like most Capricorns don't just walk into a situation, whether it's someone that needs help, whether it's something that needs to be improved, right? Like a structure or a way of doing things, or a community, a workplace, wherever you enter, you basically bring this like can do it energy and attitude, the courage to voice what you see could change for the better, and then to help lead by example, and also lead by sharing the things that you have gained along your path, that again, communicating that knowledge and experience. And oftentimes you do it from a very like a humble place as well, because Saturn humbles you. Saturn humbles you. Is there anything else you want to say here about Capricorn? What's this? The Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands. Okay. The only constant is change, right? As much as things stay the same, they change. The more things change, the more they stay the same, and vice versa, right? It's kind of like this weird, ironic thing with life. Sometimes it feels like things never change, but then the only constant is change. And I think that part of it is that you show people that weird like dichotomy in a way. You show people the sternness and the structure and the restriction that comes with Saturn, but then you also are like, again, I learned the rules so that I know how to break them. I built this place, or I learned the infrastructure so that I know how to take it apart and make it better. So it's almost like you show people that it doesn't really do them any good to just be stressed out about change, but it's better to just face it head on and again, make the choice to shift and make it better, and to take the tools, like to not sit there and be like, I can't do it, blah, you know, and go nowhere, but to kind of like take that moment to let your whatever you're feeling out. If you're feeling overwhelmed, then like honor that, but then be like, okay, what tools do I have that I can practically use to get myself through this or to make it better, rather than just sitting here whining or worrying about something that I actually can change, you know, because we actually do have the power to change things. So sometimes people will say like, what's the use in worrying about something you can't change, right? You pretty much have the ability to change most things. You can't necessarily change other people, but you can shift the energy that you are pouring into situations. You can shift the energy that you radiate and embody. You can shift your perspective and your reality by extension. You have a lot of power. And I think that you guys have a way of highlighting how much power people actually do have to them. And it's because you yourself put that power to use. And so that's a beautiful gift that you give to people. All right. Aquarius. 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 These are heavy. All of this is actually really heavy. I don't know if you could like, it's like this huge chain. Want to take these off? Let's see. Let's use these ones for Aqua. I'm gonna dab on my reputation. Tell me Tell me about Aquarius and the natural magic and allure that they hold, that they radiate, how that influences or casts a spell on others for the better. Aqua. Okay. Tell me. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's that. Let's get one of these two. Yes. This is so you. Okay, I love this. I love it. Hi, Aqua. Okay. So, your natural magic or allure. Let's take a look at that first, and then we'll take a look at kind of the impact that it has on others, or how it influences or casts a spell on others for their own good. Yes, this is so you. So the energy of Uranus is kind of being highlighted here because Aries came out, and for me, you and Aries energy put together makes me think of the Fool in tarot. Aries is the Emperor and you are the Star, but the Fool is Uranus. And for some reason, I also tie the Fool to Aries a little bit as well. But you have both, you and Aries. You both came out here, actually. But the first thing that came out was Aries, which says the fire starter, and it came out with the 9th house, seeking. So this is Sagittarian's house, or yeah, a house associated with Sag. You're not afraid to be a self-starter. You're not afraid to actively assert yourself on a mission that other people might not understand, or to go where no man has gone before, you know, with this 9th house seeking. It's like you're not just being the fire starter in an area where other people are competing necessarily. You are usually being the fire starter on some sort of pilgrimage or spiritual quest or aspiration that many people have not done before, if anyone has done before. Something that takes faith and belief to accomplish, and might look like taking a risk to a lot of people. And so there's this element of bravery, fire starter, sort of like self-starter, assertive energy that seeks and that isn't afraid to do things a different way, that's super attractive to people, that they notice, that you just naturally carry within you. And the reason, or the way that you have that ability to such a great degree, I feel like, is because you get intimate with yourself. You tend to get quite intimate with yourself. And it's interesting, people tend to paint Aquarians as being kind of like cold or disconnected, and I feel like they could not be further from the truth. Aquarius is literally about like making connections between things, and that is how it's like they put all these pieces together to find the ultimate truth. Fixed air. They consider parts and pieces that other people don't even take into consideration, because they understand that in order to be fully rational, They have to, you know? But your intimacy with self is also what allows you to experiment. Like, it's in that intimate place with yourself that you experiment, that you radicalize yourself and your world, and make yourself unique. You kind of bring that electric energy of Uranus into your most intimate internal spaces, and that's what creates this very transformative energy, I feel like, that kind of serves to diversify through disrupting the status quo, really, which is uncomfortable for a lot of people, but honestly, totally necessary. Yeah. It's like you have a relationship with this eccentric, unique, radical, electric kind of energy. I feel like as much as you are fixed air, you are constantly going through these crazy shifts that you can't even anticipate, right? That Uranus energy. If anything, if Uranus is going to do anything, it's going to surprise you. It's going to bring something in that you are not seeing. It's going to provide the shock factor. And I feel like if anyone is more averse to that, it's like you're one of the most, like, naturally that would, if you had the choice, you would probably not choose that. However, because of how, you know, in a lot of ways, although you're fixed, you're very open. At least when you're in your power, you're very open, because you're both focused on the self and your own uniqueness and how you can bring that into the whole to affect it for the better. But you're also like group oriented and humanitarian. So you have this really beautiful balance that you're only really able to engage in a healthy way when you are intimate with yourself. And so, and then through being intimate with yourself and really knowing yourself and your uniqueness, that is what allows you to express that uniqueness. And I feel like that really, it turns people on. Because nothing is less attractive than someone trying to be someone that they're not, right? It's just inauthentic. And how can you use your natural abilities to attract when you're not even being yourself, right? You don't have that problem. And a lot of people find this very attractive in you, but this is definitely a magical, attractive sort of allure or quality that you hold. Okay, so then Pleiades came out with Don't Dim to Fit In. I think Taurus got this Don't Dim to Fit In card, but I can't remember. So Pleiades, this is just so you. It says double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity, and then don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? You aren't, because again, you are radically not trying to fit in. If anything, I feel like you push yourself outside of your comfort zone to be different, because you understand how much of a disservice you are truly doing by dimming your light to fit in. Even though it sometimes does make you uncomfortable to be different, it's not like it just comes naturally to you to just be like this alien or what appears to others as being so different, right? Sometimes that's uncomfortable for you. Sometimes I think you genuinely have the feeling that, like, I wish I could just fit in, but then immediately you're like, no, because you understand that your uniqueness is something only you can bring and offer. And everyone has to bring and offer the piece that only they can, because then the puzzle comes together, right? We don't want a bunch of the same piece, because then nothing gets accomplished. So you channel your own unique spirit, and in doing so, you serve a double mission. You uplift yourself, You get to know yourself more intimately, and you also uplift humanity in a really beautiful way. Can you tell me more about how these traits of Aquarians influence other people? Surrender. You help people take action in faith, to assess things from a different perspective and come to new realizations or form strong realizations. It's like, because you have this sense of knowing who you are and you're constantly exploring that and bringing that authentically to the table, you show other people that they can do the same. They can have these deep realizations about themselves, that, and in this one, it's like a keyhole that this person's walking through. So you help people surrender to being intimate with themselves, in that they are able to more honestly look at themselves, realize themselves more fully, set themselves free, show up as the person that they genuinely are, and do it all from a space of gratitude. Because what that ends up bringing them is so, the value of that is, it's invaluable, right? It's like this is a way of leading people home to themselves through showing them that they can surrender to the truth of who they are. And no matter who that is, it's okay. I love it. Okay, they don't even want me to pull tarot cards for you. They just want me to pull from this other oracle deck to close things off. See? Doing things different, even in the reading, forcing me to do things different. Yes. Yes, Aquarius. So I asked, like, what element in other people gets stronger as a result, is either stronger or unlocked as a result of who Aquarius is. And the Avenger and the Visionary came out. Aquarius, fuck yeah. I mean, you freaking baddies. So the desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, and then Visionary says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, and the willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. This is so you. This is so you. You have this level of, crap, what's the word that I'm trying to think of? It's like thinking ahead. You're ahead of the game. You see things, the direction that something is going, right? Or the way that something is headed. And you can see what is coming. You can almost conceive, like, oh, if we continue down this trajectory, then that is what's going to take place. And you can tell other people, you can set us on a better path by doing something revolutionary or doing something different and being brave enough to inspire other people to do the same. So that is beautiful. You help other people do the right thing for themselves and for the whole, or the greater good, or society. You also help them open their minds to see that a different way or a better way is possible, both individually and holistically. All right, we are moving on to Pisces. my beautiful little fish. Where are you at? Angelfish. Let's see. See what's going down. See what you're bringing to the table or what you need to be reminded of. Okay. Ones. This is for that part. And I'm gonna do that. Okay. Let's see what Pisces has to say, or what Spirit has to say about Pisces. Getting hot. And the fireplace off after I'm finished this. It's getting a little bit toasty in here. Yes. All of this. Wow. Okay. Let's get that timestamp. Okay, Pisces. Let's see here. Let's take a look at your natural magic or allure and the influence that it has on other people for the positive. So, first let's look at your energy, then we'll take a look at the influence on other people a little bit more. This is just so you. I can't even. So the first two cards that came out was renewal with blocked in reverse, like this. You carry this natural life-giving energy, renewing energy, recycling energy. And it's because you can transmute and transform energy through just working with it. You're constantly in and aware of that energetic state, which makes you very powerful manifester and transmuter. But once you have an awareness of this, and once you have an awareness that everything is cyclical, and that every high is tied to a low, every hope is tied to a fear, every death is tied to life, you know, it's like the shadow is tied to the light. Once you realize this, it becomes a lot easier to be in this renewal energy because, again, you understand the natural cycles of that everything has a natural cycle and that nothing is ever truly lost or blocked. Everything can be renewed and brought back to life. And so you naturally carry this very magical quality. Tell me more about that. Renewal. And it's love. Love is the force behind this. Unconditional love is what is what turns the wheel. It's the driving force that can dissolve any block, that can renew anything, right? Love is that force that breathes life into or back into things. And you hold so much of that within you that this is just, it's a natural kind of, it's coming through also as like Jupiter. Oh, thank you so much, Julio. Thank you, Julio. I like the way you spelled your name as well. But yeah, you hold so much fucking love that it almost naturally dissolves blocks. And that doesn't mean that it's always easy, right? That definitely does not mean that it's always easy. But people watch you, and I think that they wonder how someone so soft can transform things that can be so heavy. How can you, in this energy, just this beautiful loving being, turn this karmic wheel, which can be so stubborn, right? But it's because it's the energy of Jupiter. It's really the energy of expansion. And even the wheel, right? It has a cycle. It constantly turns. You're on the top and then you're on the bottom, and that's just karma. It's not personal. It's very impersonal. It's just action and reaction, right? For every action, there is a consequence. And we just have the free will and the choice to make. So you can always choose to stay blocked, or to free yourself, or to turn the wheel, or to renew something. And the beautiful part about it that you show other people is that you're like, the best part about it is that how this all happens is not even a mystery, right? You know that it's love. You're like, the way to bring harmony in is through connection. And once you have this tool under your belt, literally nothing has a hold on you. Nothing can keep you down. Nothing can block you. There's nothing that love, that connection, and that internal state of harmony can not dissolve. And so this is something that's incredibly, definitely magical, and very, I think other people look at this and they find it really beautiful, your ability to do this. Again, that you do it not through force or aggression, but you do it through love, and you're aware that love is the way. You are the biggest promoter of love being the way. And I don't think that is like a mystery to anyone, let alone yourself, right? So this is the beautiful sort of natural, abundant, magical nature that you have within you. So let's take a look a little more deeply into how this influences others. So what does this strengthen or draw out of others? It's just getting hotter and hotter. It's a good thing that I'm almost done, but let's see. Mm-hmm. Aww. Please. The way that you embody love literally brings other people closer to the divine, because that love that you embody is the divine. You revel in intimate union with Source, and then what do? You go and you connect to other people, and it's like a pay it forward thing. It's like you literally pass that on. You pass on the spark of the divine, or you show other people through reflecting, through being a mirror of this, you show them that it exists in themselves either, and you bring them into closer relationship with the divine themselves. Wow, that is absolutely beautiful. You also have gossip. So here came out in the upright. So you awaken, you help other people become more considerate to the feelings of others, and you help other people become more trustworthy, or essentially want to be better for other people as well. Because I think that you show people, you highlight the importance of harmonious connection, the importance of love. It might be simple, but it is the most powerful force. And you're just wanting to shout it from the rooftops, because that's what happens when you are in connection with the divine. You just want to tell everyone about it. You're like, it ain't no mystery. You want to know how I got this way? You want to be this way? You can. And it's kind of like you're not gatekeeping this knowledge whatsoever, and that's beautiful as well. You're not trying to be some spiritual elitist standing there being like, I'm more tapped in than you. It's like, no, your hope for everyone is that they will be in that intimate union with love for themselves, for one another, and for the divine the way that you are. Because you know that is the most considerate thing for other people. You genuinely want the best for other people. And because you're putting that energy out and radiating that energy, you do help that happen, which is beautiful. Well, yeah. You help people also feel seen and feel at home. You help them feel comfortable opening up their inner world. Yeah, exactly. 7th house. Because you resonate with them. You relate to people. And that's the seed of the divine within you. This is Cancer and then Libra energy as well. It's very nurturing, very loving energy. So you really impact other people in that way as well. This is your power to transform. Just through simply embodying that and then relating to other people helps them root into it themselves. So, is there anything else that you want to highlight for Pisces before I let them go? I love being a Pisces too. I wouldn't change it for anything. The King of Pentacles. The Chariot. Yeah. You move forwards from the heart, and some people might think that, oh, you're moving from an emotional space, you're not going to get anywhere fast, you're going to go nowhere fast. Moving from the heart, moving from your feelings, that's so weak, It's like, really? How weak are you going to think that is? When I am absolutely killing it, killing the game. I feel like you help reframe being sensitive, being emotional, and being spiritual to people, because the world tends to kind of downplay those things or make them feel like those are the weaker things, and it's more important to be practical, to be rational, to be logical, and to take physical action. But these things are just as important. Your emotional will that drives you, there is very little that is stronger than that, because humans pretty much do what they feel they want to do. So if you can be in control of sort of directing your emotional will, that is an incredible place of power. Like the Chariot talks about pushing forwards with immense power. And the King of Pentacles is, someone who's very well established in the 3D. And so you help show people that you can be successful in that way. And I think that helps transform them or allow them to get more in touch with those elements of themselves as well. They realize that they don't have to sacrifice or repress those parts of themselves to be successful in this world the way that sometimes society would have us think we need to. So you infuse more softness, but the softness is actually strength. Pisces, I love you so damn much. All right, babes. Well, it was still 3.5 hours, even though I was like, this is going to be a shorter live tonight. Well, it was half of the length of the last one, so that's positive. Thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. I hope you enjoy my little pirate vibes tonight. Let me know what you were for Halloween, if you dressed up or if you went out, or what shenanigans you got into in the comment section. If you enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the content, give it a thumbs down. I genuinely appreciate your feedback and love knowing where you guys are at and how these readings are helpful or unhelpful to you. I appreciate it. I promise it won't hurt my feelings. Yeah, leave me a comment, reach out if you want to. There is info in the info box as well. If you want to book a personal reading, or if you want to connect with me one-on-one, or connect more to the Moon Sun community, which is a really great group of people. We do have a Discord group, which is a free app to download. And once you download the app, then the link in the description box takes you to our personal server where you can hang out with us, and you can message me like a direct message if you want to chat, or let me know that a reading really resonated with you, or whatever you feel. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I love the innate magic and allure that is in each of you. I love how unique it is. So please be inspired to bring that to the table. Be courageous enough to bring that to the table, because no matter what sign you are, or what infusion or combination of elements you have in your chart, you are needed and you are unique, and no one can do it like you. Motherfucker, you ain't got it like me. Missy Elliott, right? So no one's got it like you got it. So remember that, because what you've got is beautiful. Even on your down days, what you got is beautiful. So share that, okay? Share that with the world, because we need it. We need you. Anyways, that being said, I'm sending you all of my love and affection. I hope you're doing well. I will see you again very soon. And yeah, stay safe and well until then, my loves. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.